I got to interview Dr. Sarah Kubrick a few weeks back, and we also talked a little bit about friendship. And we said how important it is to evaluate regularly and ask ourselves, how does this friendship make us feel? And it's not, in a single situation, but overall, because very often we stay in friendships and keep them going because we've known each other for a long time, because we have been through a lot together. And then often we tend to forget to ask ourselves, okay, but does this friendship actually make me feel good and uplifted? Or do I always feel tired and drained when we talk and interact? So I'm wondering, because you are such an amazing friend, and what are your thoughts on this question?
It's such a good question. It's something I should talk about quite a lot with friends. I'm sure we've probably discussed it in the past. And my way of looking at it with friends is, and it's with any relationship in life, that's the most casual friendship, acquaintances, or the German word Bedankta. I've forgotten the German word for it. That's kind of halfway between friendship and acquaintance. Bekannte.
Oh yeah, Bekannte. Do you use that word in English as well?
No, but I had been using it because it's like this intermediary level between acquaintance and friend. So it's, if we're thinking of friendship as a hierarchy between those two, I quite like that, because it's weird saying this is my acquaintance. Like, you can't.
Yeah, it's
really
it sounds very
this is
rude.
My acquaintance. Right. So, like, and that's one thing. That's one of the things I took from Austria in the German language, was that words, because it felt a little bit better that there's this intermediary between them. But basically, we meet these people in our lives, in these relationships, and effectively, life is a journey. It's a cliche, but it kind of is. So, and with any journey, there's going to be twists and turns. There's going to be crossroads, and two journeys don't necessarily, they're not really going to always fit for that duration. They just aren't going to align. So if you've got someone that's naturally supposed to be going east, and you're, for some reason, you've not separated at that point, you just know it's off. Like, I'm supposed to be going west and I'm going east, and everything, it just gets to us. And then it can become toxic, and that's the worst thing, is when relationships fail and become toxic. And there's different reasons for that. Like, we've got different personalities. We're very complex people, but the biggest thing for me, and I know it must be the same for you, is like, because we are quite strong with empathy and other people's energies, and we're there. We can't help but try and elevate and push people, bring sunshine to people. However, that becomes draining on ourselves. Like, we only have so much energy and light that we can always give without recharging. And some people, without even knowing they're doing it, are kind of addicted to that feeling. Like, they become addicted and needs a constant source of energy and sunshine into them. And it becomes like a black hole, like it's a sponge that just saps out of us, and we end up drained, and we don't even necessarily know why until we. And for personally, one of my worst traits is I just shut down. I just stop communication, and like it's like a safety function. And I've become better at stopping it before I just shut down. Like, I'll communicate better, saying I need some time. All these things, and most people understand it. And then what I've realized is the people that don't understand that, they email me. But it's
such a good point that
halfway through my life to understand that.
Sorry, I cut you off. Like, the Wi-Fi is a little glitchy today. It's such a good point that you pointed out, to communicate already before the train has left the station, like before you shut down and before it's too much, because that often actually gives the other person a chance to think about it and to change things. And very often it might even save a friendship, because, you know, when we say, hey, I love supporting you, but currently I feel I don't have the capacity to be as much there for you, or I feel sometimes it's very one sided. Like when we talk for an hour, it's 55 minutes about you and 5 minutes about me. And so I think it's about also giving the other person the chance to know what's going on inside us, and not like cutting them off and ghosting them when it's like just too much for us.
Yeah, it's that's something I had to learn, and you were actually one of the people that helped me through that process really early on in our friendship, where you sort of gave me the agency to communicate it. I don't even know, it's just one of those many conversations we've had, but if I remember, we were just sitting on a park bench somewhere in Salzburg, and we had this conversation. So, but it's quite incredible, particularly for someone who's chronically worried about how someone else sees me,
Mm-hmm.
and me upsetting someone else.